Hey guys, in this tutorial we'll be going over Python file operations. So this will be the continuation of the Python video series. So we'll be starting out with file operations in Python. So basically we will start in PyCharm just working with writing to files, reading to files, some other stuff, creating a file object and all that. So let's just start. So we'll start with, so we'll just say def main here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say we have an out file here, an out file object, and we're going to point it to, we're going to call the open method. It's a method. So Python methods basically are any objects that have methods. Basically they're object functions. Pretty much we'll be working with them later on more. So we'll just open this. We'll use this method here. So we'll say points to open, and here we're gonna have to put a file path. So a file path in Python should be pretty much the same as other file paths. I might have to do this a few times because it may be slightly different, but we'll try it. All you really need to do is, I believe you don't really need to have a file on your desktop, but this should create the file. So we can do this. Actually, we'll try this. So I'll just write my file path, and then you guys can enter your file path. So I'm just gonna say that I have this, or I want this file to be on my desktop, and we'll say that I'll just name it something. Just say file.txt. Should be fine. Didn't like that. Do you need a string here? I think you do. We'll try it. This video stop if I click this. Nope, it doesn't. Perfect. Alright, so hopefully you guys can follow along here. So we'll just start with this. We'll try it. It might have maybe a different path, or the slashes might be either 1 or 2 slashes, or the slashes might be backwards. So I might have to try it a few times. Don't worry, we'll get it. So we'll have it's one of them. Oh whoops! So don't forget we have to put the type of the mode we want. So we want to write mode. Or we want the write mode. So the open method takes 2 parameters. So if I just leave it like that, there should be an error, but it's not giving me an error. That's okay, so we'll go with that. So here we'll just say that we want to write a few things. So we'll say we want out file dot write. And we'll say we want to write just some kind of name here. So we'll just write the channel name. And remember, after you write, if you want to get to the next line, it's not going to do it automatically. You have to put in a new line, like that. We'll just write a few more things. Just write Python here. Outfile.write here, we'll just say like anything. And I'll just write something like code bunnies, whatever. Anything you want, just to the purpose of practicing the actual method here. And then don't forget to close the file when you're done. Pretty much the same as any other language. So we'll just go outfile.close. And then at the end of all that, we'll have a main function call. So we'll just run it. There is no errors. I believe the file actually opened on my desktop. If I actually check right now, the video is going to stop. But you should see a file on your desktop. That is, should have this text in here. So this is one way to do it. If you want to actually put that text file in your folder in Python, you can do that in your project folder. You can put the actual txt file in the folder, or I think Python might even be able to create that file and put it in your in your Python folder if you take this path out and just put a name of a file. So if we just went like this and put file.txt, that should show up in your Python project folder. If you have a path, you can work with files on your computer. So the path should be the same. If it didn't work with this, well, I'm using a Windows, it might depend on your machine. You may have to play with these slashes. Make sure you have the right file path. I'm not sure about a Mac, to be honest. I don't use Macs. But I think I have a doc here that says if you're using a Unix machine, which is a Mac or a Linux machine, I believe, you just need one slash, and I think it's just this slash. I think that's true. If it's not true, play with it. It's either one or the other, double or not. So it's either one slash or two, and it's either forwards or backwards. Do your path. And put your proper path in, and it should work. So one or the other. Alright, so that's how to write a file. Let's read from a file now. So we have a file write, which is pretty simple. It's actually pretty much the same as any other language, C or Java. I think it's almost exactly the same. They even have the same write methods, the same modes, from what I can remember. WRA. I know C is exactly the same. Pretty sure Java is almost very similar. You have to close the file at the end, you write the file. It's pretty much almost exactly the same. Even the paths were the same, I believe. So that should work. I will move on to reading to the file, and be careful if you have data in a file and we use the write mode, the W mode. I believe it'll wipe the whole data from the file and start a new file. So if you want to write to a file and continue where you left off, you can use append mode. I think it's A. You can continue where you left off, I believe. You might want to practice with it first if you're doing something important. And if you want to just read from a file, we use the R mode. I think we're gonna do a read. We're gonna do a read right now. So we'll just move on to that. So let's go with it here. So we have. So we had out file points to open. We opened the file. Now we can. Since we were writing basically output, we called it out file. This time we can call it in file since we're taking input. I probably should have camel cased that, but that's okay. So let's actually just start over again. So we'll have a def main. We'll say in file points to. Actually kind of wanted to keep that path, but we'll just go with doing that again. Did I have this slash or that? I think it was this one. C users PC name folder and then file name and then the mode. in a string. You can use double quotes or single quotes, I believe. We're going to go with read mode this time. So here we'll say we'll have a file contents string. We'll say file contents points to. We'll call the method here in file dot. We have different things we can use. Whoops, sorry, I didn't actually open this file properly. So we have to say in file points to open, then this. There we go. Now we should be able to access this file object. Read, mode, name, seek, tail, buffer, close, all these kinds of functions. We have about maybe 30 of them. We'll say file contents points to in file dot. This time we'll say, instead of write, we'll say read. And of course we'll close the file at the end when we're done. And then here we'll just print file contents, and that should be all. So I'll run that. There we go, we got the file, so it worked both ways. As you can see, there is no error. We were able to write to the file and read the exact same data that we typed nicely. It's pretty simple, right? Nothing too complicated. You just have to know how to write your path. That's basically depends on your machine. Once you can figure that out, this should be really easy. We didn't have to loop or anything, nothing. It just reads the whole thing. You don't even have to. We could have used readline as well. I think if we want to loop it, we can use readline, which we will do probably in this next one here. So in the next code, we'll go for readline. So we'll use a method called readline, which basically you can read one line at a time. So it's different than reading, because for example, if you're processing data, you might not want to read the whole file at once. You may want to read line by line if you're searching for something. That way you can compare it to some string or some number. You can convert it to numbers, work with the numbers, anything. So here we'll go for the readline method. So let's start with that here. So basically we can actually keep some of this code. So we'll keep main, we'll keep in file points to open this file, and that path we're using the R mode, and then actually we'll just take that out, this stuff out. So here we'll say line 1 points to in file dot read line. I believe every time you call it gets the next one. So now we can say line 2 points to in file dot read line. Line 3 points to in file dot read line. So we have 3 lines, 3 strings, or 3 lines that we originally had in the file, which still should be there. We won't forget to close the file so the buffer is closed properly. We'll say in file dot close. You could have appended this to one string. We can try that in a sec, so we'll go with this. Still in main, so we'll go with print here. line 1, print line 2, print line 3. Alright, so that should be fine. Print line 1, print line 2, print line 3, so we'll run it. Alright, what happened there? Oh, whoops, this method doesn't have a camel case. Nope, it doesn't have a camel case in it, so it's just read line like that. Alright, so we printed out everything and it was spaced out. So pretty easy, nothing too complicated. We were able to access the data and print it out. So what we can do now is we can, I believe you can append this all to one string. Actually, can you do that? No, actually you can't, because each time you take the readline method, it will save it to one variable. So if you call line 1, for example, instead of line 2 here, it would erase that data and point it to infile to the next line read. Or maybe you can say, can we try this? Line 1 points to line 1 plus, might work, infile.readline. Might actually work, and then, so it's concatenated, so this, but therefore it's gonna, it'll print everything on the same line, I believe, so we could space it out with new lines. This is how you have to format Android files. Oh, yeah, that's how you format Android files. It's exactly the same. So if you're working with, I'll show you guys. If you're working with data files, you have to pretty much space everything out manually like this. So it is good practice. But pretty much what we can do here is that we can say line 1 points to infile.readline, then we have line 1 points to line. So basically it's taking what it has, it's concatenating the next line, and then here we'll say line 1 points to what we have, and then plus infile.readline. Whoops. Let's try that and see if it works. It may not work, but we can try it. Whoops, so we didn't print it out. So here we'll have print line 1. Actually, okay, so that worked. So it was able to actually space everything out. We said line 1 points to infile.readline, line 1 points to line 1 plus infile.readline. So yeah, so it was able to save everything on one variable, so it actually worked out. Yeah, so basically that's pretty much it. We'll probably just go with that for now. We'll continue with the next file operation video in the next video. I believe we'll be going over some more methods with file operations in Python. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys liked the video, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more programming or investing or trading videos, you can subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.